Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then we need a motion, I guess.
I will make the motion that the ordinance 2019-07 be approved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Williams?
Yes.
Commissioner James?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Mayor Jones?
Yes. Motion passes 4-0. Now we have citizens' requests for issues not on the agenda. Please state your name for the record. Limit comments to 5 minutes. Okay. No one?
It's going to be
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if this is the appropriate time.
Please come on up.
I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time. I've never been to a meeting
That's
before.
okay. May we have your name?
Lynn Driscoll,
Okay.
and I bought a home here in 2014. I lived in Newberry for a short time, before that Atlanta. I love High Springs. I'm here about the brewery situation. Is this the time to talk?
It is.
So I'm not a drinker. I drink wine occasionally, but my daughter and I visited the weekend of the Kentucky football game. We visited the brewery, and I could walk from my house, and it was just a wonderful experience. All these families in the yard and dogs, and people were so nice. Everybody was well behaved. Nobody was cursing or yelling or anything. It was just such a nice, family atmosphere, which is what I think High Springs needs right now. And I'm a Facebook person, and I saw on there that the food trucks were no longer allowed, and I just thought that was, in my opinion, unfair, because to me, High Springs needs to grow. It's a small town, and we don't want it to overgrow like Ocala and Gainesville and these other places, but I think it's time for a place like the brewery. And I think when High Springs starts to put the kibosh on something like that, I think we're hurting our town. I just feel, as a person who lived here as long as I have now, and I love the town, I'm very emotional, but when we saw the brewery come, and I was so excited because my family comes from Atlanta, and they visit, and my daughter from Inverness, and they visit people from out of town. I have friends in large cities, and they said, wow, High Springs is on the map. High Springs is growing, and it's wonderful, and it's not like, Cafe Risque at the exit, or, and you would think brewery, and you might think, it's horrible, it's liquor. But they had craft drinks, they had these wonderful non-alcoholic drinks, and a lot of children, families, and it was just the most fun I've had in this town. I've lived here 5 years, and I do go places. And then I got to thinking, is it the Great Outdoors? Is it El Patio? Who is trying to stop that? And so I'm just concerned about that. So,
Thank you for your comments. Did you want to address that, Mr. DeCoursey, or?
Actually, if you don't mind, Madam Mayor, I'm not sure that the city attorney's office is fully up to speed as far as what's gone into that decision, but I do think that what we could do, subject to Mr. DeCoursey's comments, we could get with the codes enforcement officer and maybe walk through that issue so we understand it a little bit better and see what we're looking at in the code as far as being prohibitive of the food trucks at the brewery, and if there's potential exceptions to it and that sort of thing.
I think there's room here in this town for all of these restaurants. We all, on Monday nights.
If you come up, we have to have it on the record if you come up.
Sorry.
That's right.
So on Monday nights, when the Great Outdoors is closed, why not provide food at the brewery, at least on that night? But then I got to thinking, these food trucks, they're licensed, the food is delicious, it's wonderful. Why not allow them to come and help these families? It's literally a family atmosphere, because my neighbor asked me the other day, she said, you went to the brewery? And I said, it was so much fun. And she said, well, what kind of place is that? Is it rowdy, and are people yelling and screaming? And I said, no, it's very family oriented. And it's run by brothers. I found out later they're brothers, and they want to help the city grow, and I think we need to do that. Now that the Rails to Trails is no longer happening, I think we need to embrace these new businesses and stand up for them. I do. So, thank you for hearing me.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Bill, if you come up, we'll address this. I talked to one of the owners, Mr. Kent, and he was telling us, and I was telling him I heard a lot of positive things about it. it's nothing derogatory against the building itself. It's something that we have to look at the ordinances and get with the attorneys on it, and we'll come up with some ways that could be amicable solution to the problem. It's something that we have to look at the ordinances and make sure that we're doing it the way we should do.
Mr. Bill, you want to come up, please? I know there are others of you who wish to speak to it, but I thought if we could get this.
Just to reiterate what Joel said, it's going to take an ordinance change from the research we've done. It's an ordinance that's been on the books for, I don't know how long, quite a few years, I think in the 80s, something like that. It's not a compliant use at this time, and that's why action was taken. Strictly doesn't have anything to do with the brewery, doesn't have anything to do with any personalities or anything like that. It's just, you have to adhere to our ordinances, and that's how it goes. But city manager and I talked several times about it, and we need to do an ordinance change if that's what the city wants. Everybody in this city needs to be involved in it, not just
Right.
one restaurant
Right.
or one group of folks. It needs to be everybody. We have an open ordinance.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else who wants to speak on the matter? Please come forward.
It's actually a two-part. Craig Edens, Cinnamon Hills Estates. I actually wanted to know which exact ordinance we're speaking of that they have broken.
Bill, do you know which ordinance it is? He just asked what ordinance is it that he needs to address?
Actually, it's a two-phase thing. It's the land use code ordinance there, and the basic ordinance of the comp plans. Two have to match. They don't allow mobile food vending in the city anywhere, except for a special exception for a special event,
Mm-hmm.
and that's done by permit.
Okay.
Okay, because I had a question about the Appendix B. When you do amendments or appendixes, does it not overwrite and supersede what has already been written beforehand? That would be the way to ask. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name again, but
Mr.
when you said the land development and use on the Appendix B, Article 2, zoning, and I can go through all the different points and sections of it, but it's under 2.0200 and so forth, going into Table 1, 8.6 mobile food vendors, it does not state whether you can or cannot use mobile food vendors anywhere in any such zoning. Doing an extensive search, that is the only thing that I have found about mobile vendors in general. So I'm asking, again, if it's not being overridden by the appendix, then we need to have the original ordinances available for the public to see, because I could not find it anywhere.
Thank you.
Aren't there ordinances out on the web?
Excuse me.
Just backing up what he said, my name is Michael Rivers. I live in Bailey Estates. I've been here for about 3 years now. I work night shift, and I was up last night for about 4 hours straight on the city's website of ordinances. And like he said, I could not find the words food and truck together. I could find food here, there, never a vendor, never mobile. I couldn't find anything that would have verbiage that would apply to this situation. So, like you said, I'd like to see the actual ordinance where it clearly states out black and white, not a gray area, where this is a violation.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anyone else care to speak? Come on up, sir.
I unfortunately came late to the game, so I'm a little behind, but I'm one of the vendors who goes to the brewery.
Your name?
Stephen Ledoux. I've lived in High Springs for 13 years. I pay taxes here. My food truck is Logie's. It is inspected and registered to be here, and I really don't see what the problem is. We're not a permanent fixture. We pass all the inspections. We go and we provide a service. We actually help bring people into the city. So, I mean, obviously somebody complained, and that's why we're here. But, I've been there twice with my company, and there's never a problem. There's no noise ordinances. So it's disappointing to me that I have to now travel all the way to Gainesville to make my money, when I could do it up here. You know, I'm on their schedule twice a month. We did something for the Bahamas with them. They're out there looking for the community. I don't understand why we're really bothering everybody about this. This is, especially since we're all licensed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Evening, how y'all doing tonight?
Fine.
Good, good. I'm happen to be one of the owners of High Springs Brewing Company. I just wanted to thank you guys for a little time today.
Your name, sir.
Oh, my name is Chris Mobus. Want to thank you guys for giving us an opportunity to come and speak with you, and I want to thank all of our friends and family here. We didn't ask anybody to come and show up. This is truly driven by something that we feel is right for the city. As you all know, it's High Springs Brewing Company. We had a lot of opportunity to go to other cities and do other things and go to other places. We've wanted nothing more than to be a thread in the fabric of this community. We fought hard. We've had, some of you may or may not know some of the challenges that we've had to go through to open that establishment. But we never quit on High Springs. We never did. We believe in High Springs. We're residents of High Springs. We're business owners in High Springs. And we believe we can really make this right. And we know it can be fair for everybody, and I understand we have to get through some of these challenges and kind of navigate into something that is a little new today to us. But we do believe that we bring a wonderful thing to this community. As you guys may or may not have been there, I know Nancy's not here with us this evening, but Linda, I know that you've been there with us, and you can probably attest to the fact that we have family after family after family, and it's not 21-year-old kids running around. We have 85-year-old folks in our building enjoying a football game, enjoying a cold beer, enjoying watching their grandkids run in our field. And that's really what we've wanted to bring to the community and bring to the city. And we're going to continue to work with everybody, and that means everybody, to find a good resolution to this, because we believe in the city. We believe in it so much, we literally named our brewery after High Springs, okay? So the city is near and dear to all of us, and all of you guys letting us have an opportunity to speak today really means the world to us. And we didn't ask any of these folks to join us today. They found it in their heart, they found it, they believe in something, they're passionate about something, and they came to speak today. So I want to thank everybody here today. I want to thank you all, and I'm really looking forward to all of us getting together and trying to find a way to make this work and do it so it's good for everybody, so it's good for the city, not just High Springs Brewing Company. It's got to be good for the city, and we understand that. Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Susie Clark, and believe it or not, tonight I have 4 words for you. Shop local, buy local.
Thank you.
That's it?
That's unusual, right?
Connie Casey, President of the Chamber of Commerce, and I thought that maybe Susie would mention this, but we've planned an activity involving the brewery. The brewery was great to let us have their space, and the Women's Club is using it as a fundraiser for the Ronald McDonald and the Operation Smile, and the Chamber is involved also in that activity as far as contributing towards that fundraiser. So the brewery is giving us a spot to have this fundraiser. So, you know, I'm behind them. I have a small business in town myself, and I know how hard it is to get started with a small business, but, you know, I'd really like to see them continue, and the food truck is an addition to that atmosphere that I don't have to go home and cook. You know, I can hang out there and I don't have to cook, you know, and it's a service that they're providing by having food trucks there, so we don't have to go home and cook afterwards. So, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
My name is Philip Vinfinger. I'm in the process of starting my own food truck trailer. Was very excited about, you know, going with the opportunity of going to work with Chris and them over at High Springs Brewery. I don't know how much y'all know about food trucks. I don't know if y'all know much about them. Food trailers, gentlemen can probably elaborate on a lot more than I can. I'm in the process of getting mine set up, but it's a process. It's an inspection process. It has to be inspected before you ever hit the ground running, and then they can come in anytime they want whenever you're set up. So it's not like the people doing the food trucks are not up to code. They're definitely up to code. They're definitely up to standards, or they wouldn't be able to do it. Like I said, they can get their license pulled at any time. I started a food trailer just on my own, not licensed, just trying to see if there was a market for what I was doing in this area, what I was wanting to do in this area, and done it, and was set up on some property inside the city. And the property owner said, I need to pull up a special use permit, I believe is what it was called. Well, I put in for the special use permit, and it took 2.5 weeks before I heard back anything. Paid my application fee. They rejected it. I said, well, can you tell me why you rejected it? They said, no. The lady couldn't really tell me why. I said that they didn't allow food trucks in the city. I said, can you tell me why? She said, we just don't allow them. We never have. I don't know. Obviously, y'all are dealing with this and, pushing through, trying to come up with a resolution for this, making ordinance changes, hopefully. I just wanted y'all to know, like I said, I didn't know how much y'all knew about the food trucks, but they are very scrutinized as far as being up to code.
Yes,
So,
sir.
thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Evening.
How are you?
Don't faint.
Give your name, please.
Oh, my name, what the heck is my name?
Tonight's name.
A nice name? Okay. Mike Kearney, 26008 Northwest 206 Place here in High Springs. Nice to see you all. Mr. City Manager, nice to see you. Old faces, new faces. Yeah, I finally came out when something important. We make ordinances for a reason, that's what I'll say. I heard that you all are going to have to have some discussions on food trucks for the new business here in town. And, well, we haven't had this discussion in a long time. However, I remember some years ago, I wanted to put a food truck, man wanted to put a food truck at the gas station, turn that into a restaurant, and the city decided it wasn't appropriate. And part of the reason is that it isn't controlled by the state restaurant association or the state health department. It comes under ag, different permits. But I finally decided it was better that we didn't have it. Part of the reason is, look, we spend a lot of money building these restaurants in this town. And, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there's a reason why you have kitchens in restaurants. And we have a very strict health department. And I just want you all to take deep consideration before this really comes up. And that ordinance was put in place for a reason, and there's going to be a lot of businesses here that we're going to think about this and aren't going to be happy. And I mean, that's something that, no offense, those people should take into consideration when they put the brewery in there. Plus, we understand we're getting this new restaurant in town that looks taking over the old automotive parts store, which is doing a slow but beautiful job of restoration, which is going to be a restaurant brewery. And again, somebody putting an awful lot of money in. And I just think we have to take a real deep look at our ordinances, and ordinances are set for a reason. So that's all. I just want everybody to consider it deeply. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aside from that, I'm glad I'm still alive. And we have a good new codes lady, and it's still green.
Can I come up for a second?
Sure, come on.
I've been working in public safety for 10 years now. I've been in kitchens. I've just to kind of go off his comments. I would like to say I disagree with. It sounds like he's trying to say that food trucks aren't clean, which is. I've been visiting food trucks for as long as I can remember. they're cleaner than most kitchens I've been in. I've run calls in kitchens. I've seen what goes on in kitchens. It's not as glamorous. I think food trucks are more regulated than most people believe. I don't think we should stifle the growth of this town by not allowing local businesses to come in. And it's not like these food trucks coming in are multi-million-dollar conglomerates. They're local businesses. It's Cilantro Tacos from Newberry, which we all saw grow from this small, tiny little restaurant set off the road in Newberry to town of Tioga. And look what they've done. I don't think we should stifle people's growth, our own residents who have their own food trucks, by limiting them and making them work even harder and go somewhere else to earn their money when they can do it right here. I want to see High Springs grow. I moved here from Williston. Williston wasn't growing. I grew up there. I loved it there. But I've fallen in love with this place. And this place is now, when people ask my hometown, I tell them High Springs because I love it here. I love the growth I'm starting to see. And I don't believe that stopping something like this is going to help continue it to grow. I think it's going to stifle all the progress that's been made so far. So I would like to see this go through and us come up to something that it benefits both parties. I just don't think we should just stop and say, no, this shouldn't do.
Thank you.
I just wanted to...
Say your name again.
My name's Chris Mobus. I'm
Okay.
sorry. One of the owners of High Springs Brewing Company. I completely understand the investment into building a business. If anybody would like to see the amount of money we spent on opening our business, what we thought would effectively be, I think we can all agree, was an eyesore for many, many, many years. And we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars building that business into what it is today. And we selected High Springs. We wanted to be here. So I want to make sure that it's not overlooked as to what our capital investment was. We've given back to the community, as you guys have seen. We had a phenomenal Bahamas relief effort. It went far better than we had ever expected. And that's really due to the people the residents of High Springs. The city of High Springs came in big on that. They believe in us. We've invested heavily. We wouldn't have invested all of this money into this building, into our location, if we didn't think we can find to make this all work amicably and do it so everybody succeeds. This isn't just so High Springs Brewing Company can overrun and take everything. It's not that at all. We want to work in collaboration with any and every business that we have here in town. We've reached out to all of our other businesses here in town and talked to them about food distribution and talked to them some other things. And we're willing to always have those conversations. The conversation didn't necessarily end after it started, per se, but we're certainly open to anything. We don't want to be a thorn in anybody's side. We don't want anyone to walk past that brewery and think, look at them. They put somebody out of business. We're business owners. We're small business owners. We know the impact of investment in capital, and we want to see everybody succeed. So I just want to make sure that that's not overlooked at this moment. Again, thank you guys so very much. You guys have been awesome, and I'm looking forward to doing this with you guys maybe once a month. Yeah? Maybe? All right, awesome. Thank you.
I think we're going to have to put, anyone new want to be able to speak? Okay, ma'am. I allowed a couple of others.
So since I've moved here, I saw the Maple Street Biscuit Company got a business. I saw there was a breakfast restaurant where Sam's is now, and I'm watching businesses try and then they can't make it. So this one, I would like to see it be successful.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm Barbara Webster, and I just want to say I know that they're very community-oriented there, and it's really a pleasant place, and I hope everybody can come to a quick resolution that pleases everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
The gentleman mentioned that they have hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in restaurants that are consistently going out of business here. If you're not a fast food restaurant, either you're the
Great Outdoors.
The Great Outdoors, and the Mexican restaurant. Those are the only two things that have survived here. They put that restaurant right across from the church out of business because they couldn't serve alcohol. I get it. It was too close to the church. Al and Tony's Pizza's out of business. Before it was Al and Tony's, it was something else that lasted fine. I got off track, but he said they put a lot of money into it. Well, every one of our food vendors have put a lot of money into it. I have probably one of these smaller trucks, and I put $30,000 in cash. Maybe that's not a lot of money to you guys, but I actually have a full-time job in a kitchen where I can serve up to 4,000 or 5,000 people a day. So I'm here to tell you that my food truck is as clean as any kitchen out there. There's not a single kitchen that can say they're cleaner than mine. We're in the state of Florida. I'm going to tell you something. Probably every kitchen has a bug. Okay? I'm not just talking about a roach. I'm talking about a fly that flies in. But my food truck is as clean as any kitchen in this entire town. So to come up here and say, oh, they've invested thousands or hundreds of thousands, well, so have the food trucks. So just because they have a little bit more money invested doesn't make them any more important than we are. I'm here to make money for my family. I'm here to do something fun in the community. I need money to live, and being able to do business there is awesome. They don't charge me to go there. They ask me, do you want to come here? There are other businesses in Gainesville I got to pay 10 to 15% of my sales to go to. So that's also something we need to consider. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I would suggest this, we can't make any decisions tonight. Can we, Joel, and I would suggest, if I'm not out of line, is let's put this thing on the agenda, let's, at some point in time, to where some action can be taken. They would have an opportunity to speak again, because right now we can't do anything. This is citizens' comments. So I would suggest that you get with Bill or whatever, you figure this out with the attorney, figure out if it's the next one. I know the meetings have changed a little bit because of the deal. Make darn sure we advertise it enough so the individuals know about it. And let's bring some options to us from legal and the city that we can then make a decision on. And so I would suggest we do that.
I agree 100% because there's nothing we can do tonight.
That's
It's not an agenda item. And I'm going to say this, High Springs, we are business friendly, so don't ever think that we're not business friendly. We're not. We truly try to work together, but just take time for us to come together and work it out, which we will try to do very, very hard for the small businesses, because I used to be a business person myself, and I understand. So, but just give us a chance. We'll work on it. All right?
So you'll do that?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Okay. And then it'll be posted, you all know when the discussion's going to be, and we invite you back.
Any other comments other than for the High Springs Brewery? If you haven't spoken before and would like to speak, you may do so. I don't want to keep anyone from having spoken at all. Okay, anybody want to speak to something else? I will close the citizen request. And we'll move on to new business. Consider authorizing purchase of replacement goals for BSN Sports in the amount of $7,694.98 to be paid with Wild Spaces funds. Hi, Damon.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commission, City Manager, City Attorney. We are asking for permission to purchase 2 sets of goals for our throughout the Wild Spaces Public Places account, and we're going to need them for our soccer program, and of course for the public as well.
Madam Mayor, I think Director Damian did an excellent job. I think he got 2 for 1. So
Okay.
he's a good
Buy one, get one?
willing dealer.
Go.
We like those kind of deals.
Yes. Is there any discussion?
The money's there.
Yes, Wild
Correct.
Wild
Yes.
Space.
So we're just,
As long as it's open to the public, absolutely, through the Wild Spaces tax.
well, I'll make a motion that we approve the funds to be paid through Wild Spaces for the soccer goals.
Soccer. Any other comment? It's been moved. Do we have a second? Mm-hmm. Okay. Consider authorizing purchase, no. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Damon.
Thank you. Yeah, next item is consider approval of an interlocal agreement between Alachua County first responder agencies.
Yes, ma'am. This is the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas after the incident. The commission requested that the Public Safety Answering Point, which is PSAP, that's the acronym, throughout the state, the sheriff is tasked with implementing and facilitating communications between all first responders when they get on scene. Even in this day and time, we still, apparently, in this community we can, but other communities they can't. And the governor and the state said that you will. So this is part of an interlocal agreement throughout the state of Florida.
Okay.
To make sure that all first responders are able to talk to each other.
Do we have an?
This is this the radio aspect
Yes,
part
sir.
of, on the deal?
Yes, sir.
Just because
Communication.
I know we're dealing with that
Yes, sir.
at the school. Okay, I just want to make sure.
And it's so important for them to be able to respond to one another.
Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the interlocal agreement between Alachua County's first responders.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the interlocal agreement between Alachua County first responders. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes 4-0.
Madam Mayor, just real quick, just so people understand, this is extremely important because it puts everybody on the same page when they're coming to, say something happens at a school. Right now, you can't communicate between, and the school board can't. So what they're doing is making this, it's a one unit, so every responding agency comes in, is able to communicate with the school, and they've all got real-time communication, as opposed to a dead spot. If I'm wrong, you make sure you do it, because this is from, and I'm with the school board, and so this is extremely important legislation to where everybody's on the same page and they can access it and everybody knows what's going on. So, thank you.
Yes, sir.
City Attorney update?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We wanted to let everybody know that our office is going to be conducting the annual 4 hours ethics training on December 5th, 2019. We'll get it in this year.
Okay.
And it's from 4 to 8 o'clock at our office. It covers ethics, public records, and sunshine law discussion. So we invite all of our city clients to attend. We did it last year, and we thought it was fairly well received. We had a couple guest speakers in, retired City of Gainesville and county, Alachua County attorneys participate in it. And we will probably do something very similar to that, but we'll change up the format slightly just to keep it interesting for those who already have been there, done that. So we'll do our best with that.
Here?
No, it's going to be at our office in Gainesville. So we're also inviting Micanopy, Newberry, Archer, and Stark to attend. So it's also a good opportunity to as sort of a mixer for all the local government folks to sort of compare and contrast. To the extent they want to. There's some interesting discussion. So should be a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Mr. DeGorsey?
Yeah, Madam Mayor, I just want to thank the public and you all for the support of my father passing, and it was a difficult time, but you helped us through it and appreciate it. And we got so many well-wishing and love out there, so it really means a lot to me and my family. And also, it's good to see folks come out when they see something they're concerned about, to open dialogue and make sure that we all understand each other's side. And we come to an amicable solution. It's something that we embrace, and the board does. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner
Oh, I get to
James?
go first tonight?
You do, because
Oh, all right.
Commissioner Lavin isn't here.
Okay. Concerning the ethics class, last year I was not available to attend it when you guys had it at class. So I did it on YouTube is that going to be available this year as well?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Our food tastes better, though, so.
And the company is so much
I
better.
didn't have any food when I saw it. Okay, and probably just as the rest of you are, I'm a little bit disappointed with CSX right at the moment. I know there's nothing we can do about it, but I think we all sort of was counting on that as a project that was going to materialize and come to fruition for us. So we're going to have to regroup and come up with something else. And secondly, while we are looking at our ordinances, I know too that we're going to look into and address this one that we have with these Airbnb, because it keeps popping up too. So that's another one that we need to take a look at. So another job for you to work on.
We got it.
You got it?
I have the email pulled up actually right now.
All right, okay, very good. Okay, I think that's it for me.
Commissioner Jameson? Vice Mayor Williams?
Yeah, I went to yours last year, I was about to say, the food would be better.
We had a good time.
Had a good time, yeah.
If you had any at all, you had more than I had when I took it.
Yeah.
Boy, I bet it was boring.
Yeah,
And I also think that Alachua
Yes.
Legal Cities offer one. I think they're going to be having it in Alachua.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they sent out an email, I think, to everyone.
Yeah. And again, I want to thank the residents for coming out on tonight. Good to see so many faces.
It
We
is.
don't have this too often. So thank y'all for coming out on tonight. And believe me, we will work to resolve this issue. I'm
yeah.
sorry, one more thing. We got scheduled for food share, November the 2nd.
November
Okay.
2nd.
November 2nd. And that'd be at the Civic Center. And we'll work
Okay.
together as a group, Church of God by Faith in the city. We'll work together on it.
Okay. I too am glad to see so many residents come out and express their opinions. We want the High Springs Brewery to know that we are very happy for their business. For those of you who think that we're trying to run them out of town, that couldn't be farther from the truth. There are some issues with the food trucks, not their cleanliness or passing inspections or anything like that. It's just a matter of, we do have an ordinance or a couple of ordinances that will need to be addressed, and we need to include the whole city of High Springs on this, not just a few. Well, you're more than a few, but at any rate, we'll have to look at it as a whole for the city of High Springs. But I thank you for coming out. And I don't think I have anything else. If anybody has a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
So done.